Cruise calls for a new way to determine commercial readiness of self-driving cars. Cruise co-founder and CTO Kyle Vogt said Friday that disengagement reports released annually by California regulators are not a proxy for the commercial readiness or safety of self-driving cars. Vogt, in a lengthy post on Medium, called for a new metric to determine whether an autonomous vehicle is ready for commercial deployment. The post suggests that the autonomous vehicle company, which had a valuation of $19 billion as of May, is already developing more comprehensive metrics. The California Department of Motor Vehicles, which regulates the permits for autonomous vehicle testing on public roads in the state, requires companies to submit an annual report detailing disengagements, a term that means the number of times drivers have had to take control of a car. The DMV defines a disengagement as any time a test vehicle operating on public roads has switched from autonomous to manual mode for an immediate safety-related reason or due to a failure of the system. It's woefully inadequate for most uses beyond those of the DMV, Vogt wrote. The idea that disengagements give a meaningful signal about whether an AV is ready for commercial deployment is a myth. These disengagement reports will be released in a few weeks. Cruise did share some of its disengagement data, specifically the number of miles driven per disengagement event, between 2017 and 2019. The so-called race to commercialize autonomous vehicles has involved a fair amount of theater, including demos. This lack of data has made it nearly impossible to determine if a company's self-driving cars are safe enough or ready for the big and very real stage of shuttling people from point A to point B on city streets. Disengagement reports, as flawed as they might be, have been one of the only pieces of data that the public, and the media, have access to. How safe is safe enough? While that data might provide some insights, it doesn't help answer the fundamental question for every AV developer planning to deploy robotaxis for the public: how safe is safe enough? Vogt's comments signal Cruise's efforts to find a practical means of answering that question. But if we can't use the disengagement rate to gauge commercial readiness, what can we use? Ultimately, I believe that in order for an AV operator to deploy AVs at scale in a ride-sharing fleet, the general public and regulators deserve hard, empirical evidence that an AV has performance that is superhuman, better than the average human driver, so that the deployment of the AV technology has a positive overall impact on automotive safety and public health. This requires a. Data on the true performance of human drivers and AVs in a given environment, and b. An objective, apples-to-apples comparison with statistically significant. For more on this story, visit the news article link.